Hello, everybody. I'm Sergio Angelis, president and co-founder of the Longmont Observer, and I'm here today with Holly and Charles to talk about the 21-day challenge and also about the waste services department in the City of Longmont. Do you guys want to start off by introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Holly Milne. I do marketing and communications for the City of Longmont.
And I'm Charles Kamenides, and I'm the sanitation manager. I run the operation that goes around and picks up all of our trash recycling and composting here in the city.
Awesome. Very cool. So I know you guys just launched the 21-day challenge. Do you want to tell the people a little bit more about what that is?
Absolutely, yes. So the 21-day challenge is a campaign that we've put out to the Longmont community, encouraging all residents to set a personal goal to shrink their trash. And ways that you can shrink your trash are reduce, reuse, recycle, and compost. So the goal can be anything that a household chooses that suits them. We're really pushing the idea that every little bit helps. And so the challenge is called a 21-day challenge because it's been said that it takes 21 days to form a new habit. And so we're hoping that through this challenge, households will create a habit that they can carry forward. And folks can sign up for the challenge through our website, and you can sign up now through May 14th. Your 21 days starts whenever you sign up.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So when did composting first start in the City of Longmont?
Sure, I'll let Charlie answer that.
Oh, well, it's a great question. We launched Compost last year in April.
Okay.
And I think we did a great job launching it thanks to Holly's marketing for us.
Okay. And what was kind of the reason behind starting composting in Longmont?
Well, I think the reason for launching composting was to really help reduce what Longmont takes to the landfill.
Okay.
And we realized there was a lot of organic material, whether they're branches, yard waste, or even food waste, that we're picking up in the trash cans and just taking them to the landfill.
Okay.
And Longmont's really looking at its long-term future. At the end of the day, this is a business operation, and to make sure that that business is successful, we have to plan out for the future, and landfill space is something that's only going to become more and more expensive. So the idea is that if we can start making small changes now by getting people to compost and recycle more, then the landfill space that we have can last us a lot longer time.
Gotcha. So, did you have anything you wanted to add? So hypothetically speaking, let's say that the landfill does fill up. What is the next step, or what's the backup plan? Where would the trash go?
Yeah, that's a really great question. You know, it's a really big question too. I believe that as landfills will fill up, what's going to happen is what we've seen around the world and in other parts of the country, is the landfill rates will start to increase. And I think once the idea we're taking stuff to the landfill, the pricing gets so much higher and gets a lot more equal to, or when it becomes more expensive than recycling or composting, it'll make a switch to how we start to manage those things. So in other words, it'll be more expensive to take to the landfill. Recycling, composting, or other ways of recycling materials will be more beneficial.
Okay.
Right, and a key piece of right now Longmont takes our trash to the Erie landfill, which is not too far down the road. When that landfill gets full, then we've got to go farther. It's not like there's going to be space here in Longmont to make a new one. So, when you look at the big picture and think sustainably about how we're dealing with waste, it not only will become more expensive, but you've got to find land and probably. We all know land is a valuable thing in this day and age, and so land that you're willing to devote to putting trash on, and then it's just driving trucks further distances to get the trash there. So there's a lot of impacts.
And it's not easy to just start a new landfill. There's a lot of regulations involved with that.
Right.
So.
Okay.
But as we go into the future and we start to face that, potential closures and landfills filling up, I think other technologies will be available for us to be able to look at.
Right. But it all goes back to the more that we can do right now, the longer the landfills that we already have can work for us. And if we can just send less there, that's a great solution.
So this is more of kind of like a preemptive kind of.
It's like wellness.
Yeah,
there
you
go. We can take care of ourselves right now, so that we don't have really large costs later down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the composting program and how it's been received by the community and by residents and businesses.
Well, I'll start off, but if you have something to add. So I think it started off very well. We're at about 4,000 customers, which is real important for us to get to a point so that the business itself of compost is paying for itself.
Okay.
And so we've achieved that level, but I get a lot of great customer feedback of people saying, oh, I didn't know I could put this in there, and it's just easy and convenient for people to put branches or food waste or paper towels and of those things. So I get a lot of positive feedback from it.
Yeah, it's been fun to launch. What we've seen is that when we did launch it last year, there was great enthusiasm from many in the community, early adopters excited to get on board, and we're in a phase now where I think we're now trying to really connect with residents that maybe just still aren't quite sure what composting is all about. When you think about it, something like recycling, we've all come to know how to do pretty well, but that's been going on for decades, right? And so it took a long time to get to the spot of knowing that I toss this in the recycle bin. So we're really just getting started with compost, and a big piece of what we're trying to communicate is what you use it for, and does it smell bad, or is it going to be gross, and explaining how it's not, and things like that.
So I guess that kind of piggybacks into my next question of what have been some of the challenges from like a marketing communication standpoint, but also from a waste services standpoint with the trucks that you guys have, and so what kind of challenges have you guys had?
I'll speak to the marketing.
And how have you solved them?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do the marketing, and you can talk about the operations. So, as I was saying, on the marketing side of things, this is just something that we understand, are still learning a lot about, and so there's misconceptions. People just starting from, they don't know what goes in there. I've had conversations with folks that didn't realize yard waste could go in there, and that's one of the biggest things that you can actually put in your compost bin. Or to issues of concern around, is it going to stink, or is it going to attract pests? And so we're really trying to educate folks about how there are just some simple tips from using a compostable bag, which is just like a trash bag, to keep things clean and tidy, or mixing dry items and wet items. So it's just getting people familiar with what goes in the cart and the simple tips to make sure that all goes smoothly.
So the educational aspect.
It's teaching people to do something that they've never done before.
Yep, and to dovetail on that, the operational picking up at the curb and all has gone fairly smooth. I would say the bigger challenges, though, have been, of course, for customers to get used to every other week collection and what week do they pick it up on, understanding where they can put their containers at their home. But it really boils down a lot to the outreach and education and putting the right things in there, or in other ways, they don't put the wrong things in there. And I think the biggest message I've been putting out to the community is plastic items just don't go in compost, because that seems to be one of the bigger, not the biggest confusion, but one of the confusions out there, because people seem to want to participate and they'll put a plastic bag full of stuff in their container. And they're trying, everybody's trying, and they're doing a great job, but we still are finding a lot of plastic. So.
And an operational piece that I also think it would be fun for you to share with folks. We do hear, another thing that we hear about, maybe a hesitation for people to sign up, is the size of the cart. They think, I will never fill that up. So Charlie, why don't you explain why we have these big carts?
Absolutely. Well, the large carts that we are using was deliberate, because we knew that as we were launching not only compost, but the pay-as-you-throw program, where we're providing a variety of different carts, we knew that we were going to receive a lot more of the large carts in for people exchanging them for the smaller carts. And we initially were going to buy all brand new carts, but we realized we're going to have all those carts in stock so we could reuse them, right? Reuse, recycle. And we also learned that by doing that, we're saving a lot of money on the program, where we could actually charge less for the program. So instead of buying a brand new big cart, we're just buying the lids and modifying those over so that we can reuse what we have and then have a program that works. But and that's why we use the large containers. Now, we did get a little bit of feedback that customers would like a smaller container. We're analyzing that right now for
Okay.
cost and availability.
Right. But the large ones are handy for people to
Oh,
be able to
yeah.
put those branches
sure,
or
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
Okay.
things like that.
And are these the containers here with the yellow?
The
lid?
yellow lids are actually the every other week trash
Ah.
containers, and the containers on this side with the green lid
Okay.
are the
So
compost.
it's the green
I don't know if the camera can see those right now.
We can take a photo of it.
But it's a lot of volume, and you know, a comment I like to share with our customers is that you might be opting for a smaller trash can,
Yeah.
but if you get a large compost can to complement it, you get a lot of disposal ability. So really, your volume of disposal doesn't go away. Maybe what we're sending to the landfill is reduced, but you have all of this 96 gallons of material that we will divert from the landfill and turn into compost.
So what is the city doing with the compost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does that go?
We pick it up curbside, and
Okay.
then we don't have a processing facility here in the City of Longmont.
Okay.
So we work with our partners in Western Disposal, and we take our material to
Okay.
Western Disposal, and then they work and get it processed.
Okay. So are you guys selling the compost to them, or is it just?
No,
Okay.
no. Compost at that rate, at that stage of collection is really a raw material.
Okay.
We actually pay to have it dropped off at Western.
Gotcha.
Prior to them, they shred it, and then it gets into windrows, and then they
Okay.
process it out. So we actually pay a fee to drop that off.
And is composting also available for businesses in Longmont, or is it just residents?
So composting is not available for businesses through the City of Longmont.
Okay.
But there are many companies out there that offer those services to businesses, so it is readily available.
Okay. Is that something that you guys may look at doing in the future, potentially?
It's undetermined at this time.
Well,
I know
and
that
to-
our sustainability plan talks about future opportunities for the commercial sector. But we are-
And so just the simple piece to be clear on here is that the City of Longmont only provides residential solid waste
Services.
services.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So what are some of the common myths around composting that you would like to address and inform our readers about?
Well, I think the biggest one, the biggest myth, but there's some value to it as well, is the yuck factor. So the yuck factor is what we in the industry call just, it's going to be stinky, it's going to be hard to do, and all. And with some good guidance that Holly puts out there on our social media and on our website and all the flyers that we have out there, we can work through those challenges that people might have. But educating our customers to have a good approach to how they put their compostable items in the compost bin. That's probably the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, that it's the perception of a yuck factor. The yuck factor is actually not even there if you do a few simple things. Like I said, to me, my favorite hack is the compostable bag. You
Okay.
use it just like you use a trash bag. So at my house, we have in the kitchen, we have a little countertop pail.
Okay.
We get the small 3-gallon bags and we put those in there, and then we toss food waste, paper towels, all those sorts of things in that. And then when it's full, I tie it up just like you tie up a trash bag, and we take it out and you put it in the compost cart. The bag stays intact and all is good. So
And another trick is, another way to approach the yuck factor is, but like Holly was saying earlier, layering. If you have leaves, you start with some leaves, and if you have some items you feel might be yucky, you then put that in and then put some more leaves over it. And then by layering the wet items with the dry items, it really does help reduce that.
Right. But if you're, and it needs to be as easy as possible, like
Yep.
me, just get the bags.
Just get the bag. And where can you get the bags?
Well, you can get bags all over the place. There's
Yeah.
some biodegradable bags everywhere, but you don't always have to use a biodegradable bag. You can use a paper bag.
Yep, that's
So
true.
paper is 100% biodegradable as well.
Right,
so.
but yeah, hardware stores, grocery stores,
Longmont.
online, big box sort of things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So have you guys had some people that are currently participating in the program now, and have you had some feedback from those people, or some testimonials about what they're going through?
Absolutely. So one part of the 21-day challenge that's really fun is that you, in order to complete the challenge, you take the pledge to set the goal and form a habit, but then you're also asked to share your progress either on social media or by emailing us how things are going. And it's been really fun already hearing from residents what they're doing at home, and we've heard from several that are composting, and they just love it. And I can even speak for myself. My household, once we started doing it, it's really fun to discover all the things that can go in there. In the beginning, you think, oh, well, yeah, I guess I chop up some vegetables and make a salad every now and then, and we have some yard waste. But you really start to see that there is a lot that can go in that bin, and it's fun to find more things to put in there. And I think kind of then the higher level that once you really get hooked on it is you start shopping in a way where you look to purchase products that you know will be able to be recycled or compostable.
So it's kind of starting to change your lifestyle.
Yeah, like you start to notice, oh, darn, I have to throw this in the trash. It can't go in the recycle or the compost, and you feel kind of bummed when it has to go in the trash.
So let's assume I'm new to composting. I don't have a compost bin, and I want to take the 21-day challenge. So what would the process be of me participating in that? Would I get a compost bin for free, or is that something I have to pay?
Well, it's up to you to set whatever goal you want. So if your goal is to start composting, then you would contact the city. From our webpage, you can go online and sign up for composting, or our phone number is listed. So if that was your goal, you'd just sign up for composting, and we'd bring a cart to you, and you'd start composting. Your goal to participate in the challenge, it doesn't have to be that you begin composting. We would love folks to try that, but another one could be you're just going to start with recycling more, and as a complement to that, you're going to shrink your trash by getting a smaller cart. And we mentioned earlier, you've got these yellow lidded carts here behind us. Those are our every other week trash carts. And that's a new thing that Charlie might want to talk about a little bit more and explain. We launched that last year.
Well, yeah, the pay-as-you-throw program was really exciting because we really right-priced our containers for it. You use a lot more trash, then the fee's a little bit more. But by launching an every other week program, I think we were the first community in the state of Colorado to actually launch an every other week trash program. But it gives everybody that option, because we get feedback all the time. I don't make that much trash. I don't need to put my can out every week. So it gives opportunity not only to not put your can out, that hassle, but to save money too, because the way we've tiered the rates, this every other week container is really affordable.
So is there anything last minute that you guys want to add or tell our audience about the challenge, or about what you guys do, or something people don't know?
Well, I definitely want to add that we are here to help you.
That's right.
We know that we're asking people to make changes to their habits and maybe venture into some unknown areas. So we have a call center that people can call anytime with questions about what goes where or how to break down the cost. We also just recently launched a blog, and that blog is going to be a great resource full of tips and tricks and ideas all around composting and recycling. And that's a place where residents, I encourage them to comment on the blog, ask questions, tell us what challenges you're having at home, and we're really trying to create a community where people can share things with each other.
And learn from each other.
Absolutely.
You know, I would throw out to our community that one of the things that I hear every once in a while is they get a little confused about what day is collection day. And we've also launched a program we call Retrack, and it's really easy. It's really easy to be able to understand when your collection day is, or if there's any special collection programs going on. So you just log in to our website and you can type in your address, and you can also at that time receive your own alerts for whether you have trash or recycle or compost, because again, recycle is every other week as well. I could see how somebody could get confused. So by having those alerts come to your phone or go to your email, it's a really great opportunity just to stay in tune. And then we can also keep in touch too of special events, or
if it's super windy
day,
recently had, we can say we won't be coming to get the trash.
So where can people go to learn more about the challenge or to participate in the challenge?
Sure. So I'm going to give our general web address, because that's where you can find all these great tools that we're talking about and sign up for the challenge. So that's at longmontcolorado.gov/solid waste.
Awesome. And is the blog that you mentioned, is that also there?
That's there. The link to take the pledge for the challenge is there, and the online collection calendar that Charlie was talking about is also there, where people can set up alerts and things like that. So lots of great tools hang out there.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me and allowing me to interview you guys.
Yeah,
and
thank you for
telling
the opportunity.
people more about the challenge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any photos about your experience and you want to send them over, or if you have any other questions, we can send them over to you guys. Just send them over to contact us at longmontobserver.org, and I will be participating in the challenge, and we'll be documenting my experience
Awesome.
as well. So look forward to that.
Cool. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Good.